what's up everybody, it's Amaya. So today's video is going to be a super easy and fast back to school makeup tutorial like I'm wearing here. This is not a everyday school makeup tutorial. It is a back to school makeup tutorial. So basically that is the first week of school or the first day of school makeup tutorial, because obviously I will not be rocking this look all throughout the school year. Most of the time I won't even be putting on makeup. I'm homeschooled, so it doesn't really matter, but still. So I am using all affordable products. They are all from the drugstore. Nothing is over like $10, I don't think. I think everything's like under $10, which is really awesome, except for my exfoliator that I got in a Birchbox. I think that's more expensive, but that's the only exfoliator I have. I don't have one from the drugstore, so that's why I'm using that. But other than that, I hope you guys like this, and yeah, let's get into the video. So, first things first, I always like to exfoliate or cleanse my face before putting on makeup, especially before the school day, because it's super important to take care of your skin while you're in school. In the summertime, we tend to not have to take care of our skin as much because we are out in the sun and it's warmer weather and all sorts of that stuff, but as we get into the fall and winter, where dry skin is super common and just stress can bring on oils and all that sorts of stuff, it's really important to exfoliate or cleanse your face. And I use the Vasanti Brighten Up Enzymatic Face Rejuvenator. I've mentioned this in other videos before. I really like this. Basically what it is just scrub that looks like this, and it feels like wet sand, pretty much. It just feels like wet sand, and I love exfoliating my face with this because it just feels so nice in the morning, and it feels like it's really taking off all my dead skin and cleansing me. Now I'm going to be applying moisturizer. Again, moisturizer is super important when it comes to your everyday routine during school, and I'm using the Equate All Day Moisturizing Lotion. This also has SPF 15, and it says it's for normal skin. It's also enhanced with vitamins B5, E, and C. It's also non-greasy. So now that our face is all moisturized, we are ready to start applying our makeup. Now, primer. A lot of people don't like to use primer because it's just an extra step, and a lot of people just don't know what to buy for primer. But I find that during the school year, primer is super important because you want to keep your makeup on all day. So I'm using the e.l.f. Mineral Face Primer. Normally I'd be using some sort of dewy finish primer like the Magic Lumi or stuff like that. But I am using the e.l.f. one because I really like how it gives me a slightly natural finish and also fills in fine lines to create a flawless finish. So this is a silicone based primer if you are allergic to silicone or silicone bothers your skin. There are other great primers out there. You can just look up non-silicone or silicone free primers. But I'm just going to be using this one. I'm taking a little bit of it and putting it all over my face. You can really feel this smoothing out your face as well. So now I'm just going to go back and press this in like this. So next, because this is sort of a back to school / first week of school makeup routine, a little bit more glamorous than say like the middle of January makeup routine, I am going to be using foundation. You do not have to use foundation. It's not necessary. But I am going to recommend using any of the Maybelline Fit Me's. There's the original Fit Me, the matte and poreless one, and the dewy and smooth is what I have here. I use the dewy and smooth because I do have dry skin and I just can't wear anything matte. It really just gives you a nice natural finish, but still there's coverage. And I'm going to be applying this using my Real Techniques sponge. And the reason why I love using a sponge is because I feel like brushes can just pack on too much sometimes, and that really a sponge is a great way to go. It's also a lot faster than using a brush. So as you guys can see now, I do have a little bit of coverage and dewiness to my skin. So the next thing is concealer. I actually have two concealers I'm going to be recommending to use, and maybe just using both of them. One of them is the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. I have mine in the shade Fair. I like this concealer a lot because it is a nice sheer concealer. It is not heavy or too full coverage or anything. It's really great for everyday wear. However, it does not come in a huge range of colors. This color is like a grayish, lightish color, which does work with my skin tone, but for some people who are more fair, this would just look kind of weird and gray on them. That's why I'm also recommending the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. And I have mine in the shade Fair as well. This is a little bit more full coverage, and as you can see, the shades are really different. This one's darker, even though it's the lightest color, and this one's a lot lighter. So whichever concealer you like better, whichever one is more in your price range, the Maybelline Fit Me is more expensive than the e.l.f. Lifting Concealer, although only by a few dollars. So I'm going to be using this and mixing it with this. This is totally not necessary, but that's just what I do. So I'm going to be taking it and just putting it closer to where I have darker circles and then spreading it out like this. I really just want to cover up any dark circles that I have. And now I'm going back in with the Fit Me, and I'm going to be going down a little bit farther on my face, but not too much, and just apply whatever's left on my applicator from the eyes on the rest of my face. Again, I'm not highlighting or anything in any way. I am just trying to conceal and brighten my face. Again, I'm using my sponge to blend this all in. Okay, now we're on to powder. So I never powder my foundation. I just don't have to. But I always have to powder my under eyes, and so I'm just figuring to powder my whole face today because since we are going to be in school, it's going to be hot, it's going to be just sweaty, stinky, smelly. I'm homeschooled, so I don't have to deal with any of that. But I'm going to be using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I love, love, love this powder. It's just so awesome, and it comes in a bunch of shades as well. I have mine in Creamy Natural. They also do have a translucent shade that looks just like this. And I'm just going to be applying this with my Real Techniques brush to under my eyes first. So I'm just going to dab it on like this. I'm dabbing lightly and just going like so. I'm going to do that to my other eye too. And then I'm just going to brush like this to get any excess off. Go on the other areas that we applied concealer, just kind of lightly with the brush without adding any excess product. Now I'm going to be taking a big fluffy brush from the brand Prestige. I'm just going to put this on the brush and really tap off any of the excess. Ooh, that's the magnified side. And I'm just going to brush this lightly over my skin, mostly in my T-zone. And there we go. So for brows, I wouldn't really recommend doing anything on a day-to-day basis because it can get too out of control and it's very time consuming. I never do anything to my brows anyway, and I know they always look I don't like doing stuff to my brows. But today I am going to be doing a little something. I'm just taking my NYC Kohl brow / eyeliner pencil and my e.l.f. Clear Brow and Lash Mascara. I'm just going to be putting a little bit right here to make these look a little less weird. So as you can see, they just look a little bit more filled in now than they did before. They look a little less crazy. And now I'm just going to be taking this eyebrow gel and just going over them like so. So for eyes, I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy. I'm just going to be doing a nice, simple look. I'm going to start out by priming, and I'm using this e.l.f. Mineral Eyeshadow Primer. You don't have to wear eyeshadow to school. I don't usually, but I am going to be just putting a little bit on today because this is like a first day of school makeup tutorial, so we're going to look fabulous. And I'm just going to blend this in with my sponge. So now I'm going to be going in with my Rimmel Stay Matte again, and I'm just going to set this primer. So now going in with my nudes palette, I'm going to be taking this blending brush from e.l.f. and I'm just going to be taking this light gray shade right here and really tapping off the excess. I do not want too much of this at all. I'm just going to blend this into the crease. I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow Palette. I normally don't love this palette, but I am going to be using it today because there are some nice colors in there. I'm going to be applying this color right here and this color right here, mixing them together. I'm going to be applying them with my finger. I just don't like how these apply with a brush. They just don't apply well, so I'm going to be applying this with my finger. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of setting spray and just spraying this on a e.l.f. eyeshadow brush like this. And I'm just going to be taking those same shadows again and wetting them with this brush. So now I'm just going to take the nudes palette again, and this time I am taking this shade right here, which is a slight bit darker version of the gray we used before. I'm just going to blend this into the crease as well using the same blending brush. So now I'm not going to be putting on any eyeliner. This is because eyeliner can kind of get out of hand on the weekdays and stuff like that. I sometimes do eyeliner, but then it gets pretty much like a full wing, and I don't want that. For school, I want something very natural. So I'm just going to be applying mascara, and I'm using my Maybelline Rocket Volume Express Mascara. So as you can see, I did get a little bit of dot mascara on here, but I'm not going to take it off yet, and you'll see why. I'm going to show you how to do that. So now I'm not going to do my lower lashes quite yet. I'm going to be taking this Bella Pierre eyeliner brush, and I'm going to be taking this dark brown shade right here, and I'm going to be doing a little something. I'm just going to be taking this on the very outer corners of my eye just to give them a little bit of definition. Just like this. This is just going to give your eyes a little bit more definition without making them look smoky or raccoony or anything like that. Now we are ready for our lower lashes. And there we go. So I'm going to show you how to remove this real quick. What I'm going to do is take my sponge and put it on there for a half a second and then wipe it off like this. This is going to get some of the product off, and then you just want to take a clean finger and just kind of wipe the rest away. So now to finish up the rest of my face, I'm going to be doing some bronzer. And for that, I'm taking my L'Oreal True Match powder. This is just a powder, not a bronzer, in the shade Cocoa. And this is what it looks like. I love this, using this as a bronzer. A lot better than a lot of bronzers, because a lot of bronzers can be sparkly, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to be taking an e.l.f. complexion brush to do this. And I'm just going to bronze, not contour my face. So there we go, we're all bronzed. For blush, I'm just going to be taking my e.l.f. blush in Sweet Retreat, which is a super pretty blush. It's a super pretty blush. I'm going to be taking that same complexion brush and just applying this to the apples of my cheeks. Now, for a highlight. You can totally do this if you want, but you don't have to. Normally I would use something like my e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in Moonlight Pearls because it is very bright and highlighty, but I don't want that for today. I want more of an inner glow look. So I'm going to be taking this Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer, obviously not a bronzer, in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. And this is just a super pretty highlight shade. I picked this up at Five Below. It was $3.99. I was so happy. Yes. So I'm going to be taking an e.l.f. tapered brush to do this. I'm just going to highlight the tops of my cheekbones and all the other essential areas. So now we are all highlighted and beautiful. So for lips, I totally recommend using the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. These stay on pretty long, longer than your average lipstick, and they are also kiss proof. I'm going to be using the shade Stockholm because it is super nude and I just love it. And over that, I'm going to be applying a little bit of the Sally Hansen gloss in Spun Sugar, I think. The name wore off, but this is a really pretty gloss. So the last thing is we're going to be taking a setting spray, and I'm using the NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. This is about $8 at Ulta, and this comes in a matte finish one too. So if you do want a matte finish on your face, you can get the matte finish one. However, I'm using the dewy finish one, and I'm just going to douse this. So that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys liked this back to school makeup tutorial. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment if you like this and if you think you would wear this. And if you do, put a picture on Instagram or Twitter or something and tag me in it at Amaya Jolie. I would love to see it. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys.